Good morning, YouTube. It's Willie Howe. Thank you for coming to my channel. This is supposed to be live. It says I've been live for 6 seconds, so that's awesome. This is something new that I'm trying. Within the web browser, YouTube has now allowed us to go live, and I've never done it this way before. Looks like people are starting to filter in. So good morning to everyone who is here. One thing I want to address real quick is there is some glitch with YouTube where occasionally it will say that I'm live and I'm really not live. So I took that video that it keeps saying is live and I've changed it to this is not a live stream. And so when you see that, unless it says like Saturday morning live or, you know, on holidays, I like to do videos. So good morning to all 22 of you. It is Saturday morning here in Central Illinois. I wanted to go live for a little bit, talk about some of the stuff. I haven't been able to get as many videos out as I want because I have been busy. My day job is really demanding, and then I have some consulting things that I'm doing. But if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you can see all of the updates and things that are coming through. So what do we want to talk about this morning? Morning, Jordan. So I got a lot I'd like to talk about. So we'll open up the Q&A. There's 27 of you on so far. We'll open up the Q&A. We'll get some random topics going. But here's the first thing we'll talk about. So this is a beta product from Grandstream. And as long as I disclose that it is beta, and it is beta, I am allowed to talk about this. And this is the 800 series Wi-Fi cordless phone. And I've been beta testing this, giving my feedback to Grandstream, and I'm telling you they have a winner on their hands with this. They've got a couple little things to tweak, and I'm not the one who's really, hey, Last Dragon, I'm not the one who was really concerned about the ringtones and things like that. You know, some people want them to tweak the ringtones. Ringtones to me, the charging tone, some people don't like the charging tone, but I will tell you that I had this thing off the charger, I'm sorry, for 7 days. My son was using it. He is in an unfortunate position where he couldn't leave the couch for a few days. He broke his ankle, and hi Mitchell. He broke his ankle, and I've got VoIP phones everywhere. There are literally Grandstream and Cisco and Polycom phones everywhere, and so I can be reached everywhere, and I can also be reached on the Grandstream Wave app on my cell phone. And so I let my son use this, and so he could reach me anywhere. The battery life, he used it for about 10 minutes a day, but it took about a week at 10 minutes of use a day before it gave us the charging, you know, the message that it needed to be charged. So I really think Grandstream is going to have a winner on their hands. Now it is SIP based, so this will work with more than just the Grandstream UCM, but why would you want to use anything besides Grandstream unless you're doing your own hosted? And speaking of, there are 44 of you on here. I've got some thumbs up. That's awesome. If I were to start offering a cloud-hosted PBX, who would be interested in that? If you would be interested in using an H5 technology / Willie Howe / Evergreen Lightlink cloud-hosted PBX, please let me know down there. Morning, James. James also does the Grandstream product, and I'm hoping that James and I can do a video collaboration soon. I may have to travel to St. Louis, or he may have to travel to Peoria. I'm actually going to be in the St. Louis area, so James, we may be able to just get together, have a drink, and shoot some video. Hello, Melbourne. But if you would use, a customer of mine is out in Utah, owns an ISP, Evergreen Lightlink, and we're talking, and he's got plenty of bandwidth. Good morning, New Jersey. And so we're thinking about building out a cloud-based PBX system, and Monty would be your support guy if you're not familiar with Monty. But yeah, if you're interested in an H5 or Willie Howe branded cloud-based PBX, let me know. There's a possibility that may be coming soon if we get enough interest. What else? Now we'll see how the comments go on here. But I've been shooting a lot of video with this, and a lot of you are going to recognize that this is a front row camera from Ubiquiti. They sent this to me, and I've shot some video with it, and some of the video that you've seen that I've uploaded was actually shot with this. Now, I haven't done a full review on this, but I have been using it since around Christmas time to shoot video. And I'm going to tell you, I know that a lot of people, they rail against this product, but this thing, the video quality on this thing is excellent. The form factor is a little weird. I don't think that I am the target demographic for this. I do go to concerts, but you know, I don't wear anything usually, you know. So we get some more mounting options, or if they come out with the other versions, I think that this is going to work out just fine. Jordan, what software would you use for the cloud PBX? I would use a multi-tenant asterisk-based system. So there are several out there, and I may even do some videos on that. We'll have to see. What else do I want to talk about? So the original cloud key, the version that you see hanging out of the switch behind me right there. And by the way, this is the constant state of flux. This is the rack lab. I've got to do a full video on my equipment racks, but this is the lab rack. So this thing is always being disrupted, and I'm always making changes. And so you can see it's in a constant state of flux with all the routers, all the switches, all the storage, and all that. But anyway, that first gen cloud key that's hanging out of that switch. This is what the inside of that guy looks like. So a friend of mine from the UK sent this to me, and it actually showed up in a cloud or in a CRM point or a UC whatever. They had a dongle or a device that looked like the cloud key, but it was for the UCRM software. And I got it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. But it was a failed cloud key. And so I cracked it open, and I mean, look at the heat sink on this thing. And I did pull the heat sink off, and so there's just a couple little chips in there that this heat sink was taken care of. And then on the other side, you can see this. This has got to be for, I don't know if this is just for cooling or if it's for just protecting the components. This is likely a proprietary design, but I just thought it was interesting. And I mean, there's not really much to this. So it could just be, you know, like a Raspberry Pi reimagined. You know, technology is kind of like artists, you know. Nothing's ever really original. Everybody's borrowing ideas from everybody else. And the software engineers that design these, they're no different. And, you know, they switch companies all the time, things like that. Good morning, Clarence. Clarence, a good friend of mine from Wisconsin. I am glad. Brett says, Unifi Cloud Key Gen 2 Plus in the beta store. Yes, I did a Ubiquiti Minute yesterday morning on that. And the new Cloud Key, even if I had one, it's beta, so I can't do a video on it yet. But it's going to have a battery and all kinds of stuff to prevent the MongoDB corruption, which is fantastic because I fix more cloud keys than you can shake a stick at. But I do believe that the cloud key is a better option than hosting, even with Ubiquiti. I have a customer that does use the Elite, and you need a reference for that, you'll have to email me, and I'll see if he feels comfortable talking to you. But I would say at this point, let's talk about building out your own controller on DigitalOcean, or let's put a cloud key in and put the appropriate power protection in place for that. So to be fair, this is you know, one of the UVC Flex cameras. Now, this does have a beta sticker on it. Morning, Mitch. Mitch, I wanted to email you. Because I know you're working on a video project, and I'm going to do a really unpopular video soon. because I know you're working on a video project. And I'm going to do a really unpopular video soon talking about why I'm going to support my Unifi video installations that are out there, but why I will not be recommending Unifi video going forward. I will still support it. If the customer is really insistent on Unifi, I will put Unifi in, but Unifi is not going to be, the Unifi video is not going to be my platform, my go-to for video in the future. But like I said, if the customer is insistent, it's the customer's money. That's what the customer wants. We will design it. But, you know, but anyway, so this guy, it wouldn't really be fair for me to do a review of this particular unit. And the reason that it wouldn't be fair is because on the back, you see the sticker that says beta sample, right? So there could be things on this device that are different from the production release. So it could have a cosmetic change. The way that the system actually functions could be different. So, but I will give you some of the highlights of this. So it does have a swivel base. Now it is this is what I call a manual pan tilt. It's an MTP. So you can see that you can swivel the base, and then you can swivel right here. So, I mean, it gets, and I will tell you that I indoors am actually impressed with the video quality of this guy. The $79 price point for this still may not be enough for a recommendation. There's a whole lot of things. So somebody asked, what video platform do you suggest? Well, I don't suggest Hikvision, and I know I'm going to take a lot of crap for that, but Hikvision has a lot of security issues. They've had a lot of security issues. And, you know, I used to go to Dahua, but Dahua's right there. So I am using a lot of Axis-based installations. Axis makes a great product. And for those of you who didn't know, Axis actually made the very first IP security camera. And Canon, who makes cameras and lenses, is actually a major shareholder, and they take the money, the profit, and they dump it back into Axis and tell Axis to grow. And when you start getting into the larger cameras for specialty uses, things where you have to have awesome optics, Canon actually makes the optics for the Axis cameras. So, and I will tell you that Axis actually has a line now called the Companion line that is price competitive with the Ubiquiti. It is price competitive with Hikvision and Dahua. Now, Hikvision and Dahua, they OEM for about 50 or 60 companies, Bosch, ADT, all these other companies. And I saw an article the other day, and I don't know that there's any truth to it because I searched and searched and searched, but it looked like with this new military deal where the government was going to ban ZTE, that Hikvision and Dahua may get swept up in that. But I couldn't find anything that was actually reliable, so I don't know if that's true. So there is this guy. Like I said, indoor, the video quality on this is excellent. This camera I would not use outdoors, even under an overhang. So I just don't. I know what the suggested uses are, but I would never. I don't have any of these outside. I wouldn't mount it on a fence post. I wouldn't put it under an overhang like this. So if you are all in on Ubiquiti across the board, the Unifi video, I guess that's going to be for you. But if you're looking for other things besides just basic point of camera at something, you're going to want to look other places. And especially if you're dealing with life safety issues, like real life safety issues, there are other manufacturers. And I actually have to eat a little crow, and I don't know if the gentleman that I got into an argument with about a year ago is on the live stream or not, but I do have to eat some crows. Unifi, it's like everything else. It is not a one size fits all. So there are definitely some things where they work great, but if you want to do more than basic recording, you're going to look at something else. So somebody asked, what NVR do you use for non-Unifi? So there are several options. There is the Axis Companion. There is the Axis full-blown NVR. There is Blue Iris on Windows, which is okay. There's about a 50. There was, the last time I purchase a license, a 50 camera limit on that. Grandstream has an NVR. They actually give away Windows-based software, and it is excellent for being Windows-based. It is fantastic. Synology has a great system. There are so many. Yeah, Synology has an amazing NVR. So, and I'm actually going to be doing a review and a video on that. So, Synology is one thing where I am I'm excited about the stuff they're doing, and I don't mind paying for it. Hey, Monty, there is Monty right there, Monty Wilder. Good morning, Monty. Yeah, so Synology is awesome. Now, here's a camera that I am really excited about. Now, I said everything has its use case. Now, this is the Wyze Cam. This is the version 2. This is a 1080 camera, 1080p camera. And so it's 25 bucks, right? It's 25 bucks. Now, Wyze, I bought one. I posted on Twitter. Wyze sent me a second camera. And I'm going to be, some of the upcoming videos in this summer, since it's getting warm, we're going to start doing outside videos with cameras and things like that. And it's going to be awesome. So the video still may look like a guy sitting in a basement, but it's the information that I think is important that I am relaying to you. So one of the very first things that I want to show you is on the bottom of this Wyze Cam right over here, there's an SD card slot. So this is a $25 camera. It is cloud enabled. I did verify. You can go out and look at my Twitter post. Verified with them that yes, the video is on Amazon Web Services in the United States. But here's the thing. A $25 camera has an SD card slot that works. And I can record to the SD card slot. I don't have to have this cloud enabled. Now, if I want push notifications, I do have to enable it. I'm going to tell you what, this camera beats this camera every day of the week. Yes, the Wyze $25 camera beats the Unifi video. So Unifi, you can't even do edge recording on Unifi video, right? So they've got SD card slots, but they don't do anything. Is that going to change with the new software? Probably not. Just like they're not going to support OMVIF, which is the standard for security cameras. It is the standard. But this camera is so easy to set up. It's got a two-way speaker. It's got night vision. I love the Wyze camera. 25 bucks. You can throw these things all over. You can store it in the cloud. Somebody comes in and they steal your $25 camera. You know, you've got it. You've got the, it's in the cloud. You can pull it off. You can see who was in there. Yeah, somebody says, I think the problem with the Wyze is that it's locked down. Can't access an RTSP stream. And that's fine. You're using an app. It's not a PC-based system. You're using an app on the phone. And I haven't run any security scans or anything against this yet. I got some software. We could beat this guy up, see what's going on under the hood. And, go out, get on Wyze's Twitter, tell them, look, we want an RTSP stream, and maybe they'll open it up. You never know, and we can't just sit here and say these things without having asked the company. So, Lauren, I implore you to go to, you can go to my Twitter and then find Wyze Cam out there. Tag me, tag Willie Howe, go out to Twitter, tag me in it and ask Wyze, hey, can you open up RTSP stream on this? And, they'll let us know. That's fantastic. Please do that. Please tag me. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of these. I also have reached out to FozCam, and Reolink is going to be sending me a camera, so we're going to take a look at some of those. But it's going to be awesome. So Steven says, hey, Willie, hope you're well. Do you have any experience with Hikvision camera? Any best practice on putting these Chinese cameras on the network? So unless you're going to run a lot of firewalling, I do have a customer that has Hikvision. We've actually created firewall rules that do not allow the cameras to send traffic outside of the network. We also do not expose any of the ports from the internet to the cameras to block that traffic. So it's unfortunate. Everybody has security holes, but it's unfortunate that Hikvision seems to have a lot of security problems. So, but I know they're really popular, and that's because they're inexpensive and they support standards. But, you know, let's see. Sorry to change the subject. Do you think Ubiquiti will ever allow DNS address for site-to-site or enable multi-WAN IP on USG? Man, Mark Tomlinson, Hikes Vision. Yes, that is the Hikvision. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. I always get corrected, but yeah, Hikvision is how I used to pronounce it, and then I heard Hikes Vision, and I don't know. But Mark, yes, you are correct. Kevin, I'm going to get to that in just a second. I want to answer this question by John. John, I don't know. I'm hoping that in future controllers we can do that. You can do it on the Edge router right now. So, oh, my monitor went to sleep. There we go. So we'll just have to see. Join the beta program, and we'll stay on top of what's out there and all that good stuff. So, Kevin, what do you think about Amcrest? Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a FOSCAM company in the United States, and maybe it's Amcrest. I think Amcrest is the brand I was looking at, that the cameras are almost identical to FOSCAM. Kevin, can you answer that? Because I'm thinking that might be, but FOSCAM has a pretty good offering that we're going to look at. Charles, I've never used GeoVision. Now, if there is a particular camera that you have and you want to see a video on it and you want to compare it to other cameras, reach out to me. You can go to h5llc.com. I'll put this in the chat. You can go to h5llc.com and you can get my address. If you want to ship me a camera, we'll put it on video. Yeah, so there are Tim says there is an open source project firmware for the Wyze camera that does RTSP streaming. So, Mitchell, believe that security concern was actually taken care of in 2016 with FOSCAM about the telnet. And Sean, that sounds like Sean says that he has Hikes Vision cameras that are communicating to the Synology, and that looks like a pretty solid, setup. Yeah, so Mitchell brought up FOSCAM did have some security issues, but they fixed those in 2016. Dark Dragon, I do not speak French, so if you could translate that to English, that'd be awesome. So, Tim, I would definitely be interested in knowing more about the open source project firmware for the Wyze camera. If you can reach out to me when I do my review, I'll also do a second video on that, because that's fantastic. If you can take this $25 1080 camera and put a custom firmware on it that allows you to have all of those features. Tim, can you tell us, does it support OwnVIF too, or is it RTSP only? If you can put that down there in the chat so people can see it, that would be awesome. He says, hello, I'm French, I'm friendly. Gotcha. Unky Joe, I am still going to be sending you a hat, so I just have to find the right hat. I don't want to send random hats, and you cannot have my Garth Brooks hat. So I just have to find the right hat, Joe, and it is on its way. And you and I need to do a live stream at some point. Good morning. I would love to talk to you one-on-one. So Shane Henderson. Shane, if you want to reach out, you can either email me, or if you want to go to h5llc.com, you can fill out the contact form and reach out, and somebody will get a hold of you depending on what your need is. You may not get me. You may get somebody else that works here with me. Okay, so I love this. I get this question even from customers who've seen a video and then they call in. Somebody, Lauren says, what's the giant white and blue cylinder behind you? So this thing right here, that is actually, it's an air cleaner, and it's called Blue, and it's an air cleaner. So when your wife relegates you to this little itty bitty corner you know, in the basement, you got to make sure that your air quality is good. You know, it's like coal miners used to carry a canary in their pocket, right? And they're down in a hole. And when the canary stopped singing, they knew they ran into trouble and they needed to get out of there. This is like my making sure that I'm not the canary. I set up a security camera warehouse system for a church. The price was good. The camera quality was great. And the NVR, that's fantastic. All right, Clayton says, hi, Willie. I manage a Windows Server environment with SonicWall Firewall. I'm sorry. Would it be possible to set up a USG to enable the guest network for my Unifi AC Pro? Yes, it would. And if you need help on that, please go out to h5llc.com, fill out the contact form, and we will get together. Tim says, RTSP only with web API for pan and tilt. Tim, are you talking about the Wyze Cam still? Because the Wyze Cam doesn't have pan and tilt unless I do it manually. Tim, reach out to me, would you please, so we can talk about this, because I am super duper interested in the alternative firmware for this. Wyze may not be excited about it, but I'm excited about it. These things are $25. You know, if you go out to my Amazon store and, you know, you can pick one of these up. Let's see. Shane, thank you for, I'm glad that people think that the show is informative. Have you had any luck with name resolution properly for the DHCP and static clients using Unifi? How good is DNS mask? So I use this all the time when people don't want to, when they have a domain and they don't want to expose it externally and they don't want to run a DNS server internally on the USG so that they can do captive portal and things like that. We use the name resolution on the USG and it works out fine. Let's see. Unky Joe says, I knocked down a wall between two bedrooms in our house for my office. Well, originally it was going to be the home theater. You know what? It would be awesome if I had a home theater. I actually have a projector that one of these websites sent me. It's like a $79 projector, but I'll tell you what, you throw video games on that thing on the wall and the kids get excited. We don't we don't live in a huge mansion. I'm not a huge YouTuber. Relatively small channel with a very. I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who subscribes. I want to thank everybody who interacts with me. I love people and I love interacting with people. I think that we spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort talking about what makes us different. And I would rather concentrate on what makes us the same and how we can work together. And so I love talking to people from all over the world, no matter, what your background is. I love it. But so Lauren, yeah, I don't have Super Chat. You can go to my PayPal if you're looking for that. But I did a video on how to block ads with an edge router 2 years ago. And I was on my way to vacation. We're driving and we stop at this gas station and I'm checking my email and I get this email from Google that says your monetization has been taken away, and they completely demonetized my channel. And you can, other YouTubers do videos that say there's no rhyme or reason why rules get imposed on certain people, but I have no monetization on my channel. So I literally, the YouTube views and everything that I, generate for YouTube, I get $0 from Google or YouTube for that. Now, I did get an email that there was some money in my account 2 years ago when they turned it off, and there's a class action lawsuit against Google and YouTube, and I got information on that because, somehow this company found out that I had funds in there, and apparently I am owed those funds. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't even know really if I'm going to participate. I just love having the YouTube channel. I appreciate everybody who uses the Amazon shop. And I do get some donations that roll in occasionally, and I really appreciate that. Good morning, Hugo. No, Jordan, I do not have my fiber internet yet. And the reason I do not have my fiber internet is I have you can't just walk into my backyard. And so there's some coordination there, and they've got to come back. They've got to put the drop in, and they still have to hook me up. So I'm hoping here in just a couple months. Now, I have been setting up routers for other people that have got the fiber internet. So I'm hopeful. They've got my deposit, so I should be getting, hooked up. Unky Joe, I learn things from you too. And one of the video series that you have, I like it when we talk as non-IT people, because I think that we have, everybody has opinions, and I would consider you, like, if I were ever to be, have to use my right to a jury trial as a United States citizen, I would want you to be on the jury, because I believe you are a reasonable person. And I like that. Mark says, Willie, have you done videos on point of sale network security? So, Mark, I have not specifically done point of sale, but you could take that IoT and you could apply those IoT videos to point of sale. Keep those things separate, keep those firewall rules tight, and that should be able to help you pass those PCI compliance issues when it comes to networking. Morning, Tom. Let's see. Yeah, Unky Joe, I have appealed no less than a half a dozen times, and it does not look like the monetization's coming back. People have asked me, why don't you do Patreon? I've thought about it. I've got an account out there. Another thing that Tim and I are batting around, Tim and I are actually talking about possibly doing an online university. And what that's going to mean is that I would actually issue you credentials and however you think that works. It will say that you completed a class and you completed my requirements for the class, and some of the first classes that we're talking about. And this is not going to be a 30-minute video or a 2-minute video. We're talking about doing a university where we start you from scratch. You learn networks up to deploying not just Ubiquiti, but other types of networking gear. And we're trying to figure out, what does a price point look like? How does, because I don't want it to be crazy expensive. Some of these places you go learn networking when you do hands-on, and it's thousands of dollars. And we're trying to figure out what that looks like, if it's even feasible. So I'm not going to put too much more out there about that, but we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens with that. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody says they love Grandstream and have a few UCMs deployed. So Cecil, we're going to get to all of those things with the Grandstream. I'm trying to kind of do this as baby steps. And I actually had somebody who was railing on me in the video for doing a backup at that point, instead of building everything out and then doing a backup. Well, I am from the data world, right? And in the data world, backups are our lifeline. They are our safety net. When we are walking that tightrope, backups are the only thing that save us. I back up frequently. I encrypt them. I send them off site. Data's not really backed up unless it's in at least 3 places, right? So I back up a lot. And it only takes seconds. This is 2018. It's not like we're running this backup to a tape or a cartridge or anything like that. Back up. So people can continue to say, well, I've been doing this 30 years and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. I'm going to back up. I'm going to suggest that you back up. Back up, back up, back up. Will Ubiquiti ever stop using Java? Probably not. I don't know. I can't answer that. Are they going to stop using MongoDB? I don't know. MongoDB is like the new catchphrase. It's like cloud, but it's been around for a while. I don't know. Excuse me. I've got an itch here. Somebody asks us, what's the status of the tower you're building at your house? Great question. So that tower is actually at Tim's house, and my friend Morgan's going to come up from Texas he was supposed to come up in June. We've had a scheduling conflict. So it looks like August, we're going to go to Tim's house. We're going to rip the tower down. I think Monty's going to be there. We're going to get some great video, and we're going to have that. Yeah, lots of point-of-sale systems still got ancient Windows on them, Chris says. You are exactly right. A lot of those run a Windows XP embedded, just like ATMs and things like that. And people are paying a lot of money to keep those secure or not. So I am not a fan of Udemy. I've seen where they've somebody has stolen other content creators' stuff and put it on Udemy. I don't know. There's a whole I don't know. You just have to figure this out. There's so many different options. I'm not even going to pretend to know that I understand them all when it comes to doing online. I mean, it's like anything in IT. It's so wide. There's so much to it. I don't even apologize for not knowing it all. You know, I mean, you can't. It's impossible. Thanks, Magnus. Do you know what's up with the new Unifi UI on the UBNT homepage? Even support did not know. Well, Cody, go out and check out the beta releases. Hugo, I would love if Ubiquiti wanted me to do. Let me back up. I like Troy Hunt. Troy Hunt is an amazing security guy. That's like his bread and butter. And he did those videos for Ubiquiti. And when I watched him, there were a few things that I went, you know, like, so I don't know. Ubiquiti and we have a really good relationship for what we're doing right now. Maybe we just, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We've talked, but nothing's ever really come out of it. Yes. Unky Joe is exactly correct. And Unky Joe, if you want to talk about UCM, let's talk about doing a point-to-point VPN between our houses, and I will give you access to a lab UCM. I'm really excited. I just did a quote last Tuesday. Actually, I delivered the quote like yesterday morning, like 1 a.m. But just did a quote for a construction company. They're going to need a UCM 6208, 13 handsets. It's going to be awesome. I hope they decide that they want it. Let's see. Do you find selling a PBX on cloud good idea? Yeah, I don't understand why cloud PBX wouldn't be a good idea as long as you understand security. You know, if you're just taking stuff and throwing it in the cloud, you're asking for trouble. You got to understand your host. You got to understand. There's so many things. I could do an entire channel on the cloud and the pros and cons and how to do things properly. But I will tell you that there are loads of things not configured correctly in the cloud. Yes, thank you, Stevenson. I appreciate all the kind words about the channel. Yeah, thanks, Mark. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon, Mark. Mark is a frequent flyer, and we've emailed back and forth a few times. Yes, have a great weekend. It is a 3-day weekend here in the States, Memorial Day, and we will remember all those who have given the ultimate sacrifice to keep the United States free. And if anyone's family, if anyone who's watching has a family member who has given that ultimate sacrifice, my hat's off to you, and we appreciate everything your loved ones have done for us. Let's see. Jeffrey Collins, since you said something about Grandstream, I can't get a dialing plan to work. I formatted it as stated in the instructions, but the phones keep saying 404. So Jeffrey, reach out to me. Make sure that your X's and your N's are uppercase, not, I don't know. Some people have said lowercase works, but I don't know. I'm going to do a whole video on dial plans because even if you know voice over IP, dial plans are confusing. So a lot of people just use like ones they copy and paste off the internet. But dial plans are definitely an art, especially when you start doing like trunks between systems. You know, you can do some really cool things with dial plans. So hello, is it possible to get good performance with voice over IP Wi-Fi in a small corporate environment, 30 extension? Sure, Batfink. Check out the Grandstream access points. They are specifically optimized and have features specifically for voice over IP. So check those Grandstream access points out. I'm going to actually be doing a video on that with the Grandstream voice over IP and the Grandstream access points. Unky Joe says, my nephew is studying security and pen testing. Going to do a whole series with him at some point. Would love to give the UCM a try. I'll shoot you an email. Absolutely. So it's funny that you bring that up because my new Raspberry Pi box is actually going to be for pen testing. And so there are going to be a lot of videos on that. Pen testing is one thing that I spend a lot of at my day job. 50% of my job at least is security. And so I spend a lot of time running security testing and using specific methodologies and all kinds of tools. And security is another thing that once you trip and fall down that rabbit hole, sometimes you got to pull yourself back. Hugo says, "Is that a Ubiquiti 3 Flex camera on your back?" Yeah, that is a Flex camera, and we talked about that a little bit ago. But did I ever get the Cisco 7945? I have to get the firmware for the 7945. If you saw the video that I did the other night on LLDP, I accidentally grabbed that monster. It is stuck in a reboot loop because I do need to get the firmware upgraded. If anybody knows where I can get that firmware, please shoot me an email. Go out to h5llc.com, fill out the contact form. I'd love to have that firmware so I can get that beast going. It's a beautiful phone, and they're still really expensive out there for some reason. But what do I think of Office 365? I think it's expensive, and I think Microsoft has figured out a way to perpetually make money, so good for them. I still like buying one license, one shot, one kill. That's what I did here in the office. That's what I did for my wife and her machine. She's keeping books for us and things like that. So one shot, one kill. We own it. We run it till the wheels fall off. Oh, hey, Monty. Yeah, get a hold of me a little later. Have fun apartment shopping, Monty. Somebody says, I'm a Grandstream fanboy, but their Android-based phones are garbage. I have to disagree with you. I'm actually deploying one of their conference phones and 10 of the video phones right now. And we took our time. We went through all of the settings. And we have the phones working exactly the way they want. We did not oversell these to the person who wants them installed. There is a door station outdoor. You hit the button. They can answer a video. They're going to be able to pop the door, things like that. So it's just like everything else. You know, if you want to see a phone that does not perform well, the Ubiquiti Voice over IP phone is an Android phone that does not run well. And I could not, I mean, I have them and you can hook them into the Grandstream UCM, but I could not deploy them on a large scale. You can't even change the handset cord. And if anybody's ever worked with a real telephone with a handset cord, you know you're going to have to end up replacing those at some point. But so yeah, IOCosm. Anyway, yeah, you know, it's all about how you set them up and sell the expectations. You know, it's, you know, they're on sale. They're like $180 for the phone. It's not a $600 phone, so you got to set those proper expectations. Do I like Japan? I would like to think that I like Japan. Never been there. Like stuff that comes from Japan. Any opinion on 3CX phone systems? I have not completely played around with 3CX yet, but that is on my to-do list. If I misunderstood the UCM backup question, the USB, yes. Yes, we are, Cecil, going to... we're going to cover all of that, putting SD cards in USB and all the advantages of that. That is coming in the UCM series. Bradley says, how difficult would it be to install a USG at my daughter's house and control it using my cloud key? I can then build it out for her over time. Wherever your cloud key is, as long as you're port forwarding ports 8.4, actually you only need port 8080, and then you need the 3745, whatever the... there's a UDP port that you need. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is. But Bradley, forward those two ports and then get dynamic DNS working if you don't have a static IP, and you're going to be golden. Let's see. Hey, Austin. Yes, I got your request. I will be sending that to you after the live stream, Austin. I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to snap a picture of those and get them over to you. Steven, how's your Synology box doing? So I actually have three Synologies. I have the 1Bay, the J series that I accidentally bought on eBay, but I did get a good deal on it. I paid like less than $50 with shipping, I think. Then I have a business production 4Bay that I run. That's that 918 Plus, and then I have the 218 Plus, which is the one that Synology sent me, and we're going to be cranking out those videos. So if you haven't noticed, I've got a little bit of a rotation going where it goes Ubiquiti, Grandstream, Synology. I have some other gear that I'm going to be sneaking in there, some other things as well. I don't get paid to make videos full time, so you know, I sneak this in when I can, but I definitely think that the way that I'm bringing some of these videos to you is going to be advantageous. So, with a stuck hook. Interesting. Unky Joe, try, if you can try a factory reset, try upgrading the firmware and see. I don't know, maybe it's a mechanical failure. Yeah, if 3CX wanted me to do videos, we'd have to talk, but at this point, I'm pretty invested in Grandstream. Now, I know they are a partner with Grandstream, and I don't know how deep that partnership runs, but oh yeah, check that out. Grandstream. And it looks like my video's flipped. Is the video flipped for you guys? Yeah, Synology does. Synology does rock. Can I do a video on IP version 6 DHCP? Yes, IP version 6 is on my to-do list, but does everybody even understand IP version 4? Huh? So we still need to do some IP version 4 videos as well. Lauren, what's the average cost per phone line per month for a PBX? Say 5 lines total. So it depends. Are you going to go with a traditional? Well, not really a traditional trunk. Are you going to go with a trunk that's like a POTS line? Because you can get those for about $24.95 plus taxes and fees, and that's going to be unlimited calling in the United States and Canada. But then you can go with another platform where you pay per minute, and it's, you know, you can get some of these down around a penny a minute, so you can load 20 bucks on, and it may last you 3 months. So it all depends on your approach to how you're going to do that. For businesses, you'll find that a lot of them probably want a more stable expectation of budget, and so that fixed cost SIP trunk may be the way to go. So yeah, I would say 5 lines if you're going to do it like a standard business. Now there are some companies out there that have really cheap SIP trunks, but I've never tried them, and I'm tempted, but once again, it goes back to time. So let's see. Looking forward to a tutorial of your VPN setup between the 2 Synology boxes. Christian, go look at the hyper backup. It's not the only video that we're going to do, but the hyper backup is the first. It's the one that I did last week. It's the first video where I show the VPN between Tim's house and my house. All right, so let's talk about something else. So I come home from work one day and I check the mail, and I love it when random boxes show up and I'm not expecting them. So if you have anything you want to see on camera that's technology related or anything that you'd like to send me, you can go to h5llc.com. You can get the PO box on there. But it shows up one day. This box shows up, and I open it, and there are 2 copies of this book by Kevin Hauser, and it is the Unauthorized Guide to Ubiquiti Routing and Switching. Now, last year, I have a customer who I'll only call by his first name. His name is Grover, and he took a training class with Kevin. Kevin is actually a Ubiquiti certified trainer, and he said that his trainer was unhappy to a certain extent about some of the information provided to students, and that he was going to write a book. So I'd heard about this. I didn't know it was actually going to happen until these books showed up. And what I really like is he autographed the inside. Now, I did do some reading. I found a couple things, and I sent them to him, and he corrected it. And he has asked me to be, he wants me to do the proofreading and the technical verification on volume 2. Now, this book, if you go to my Amazon shop, the book is not cheap, but he does have a lot of good information in here. Some of it is covered in some of my videos. Some of it is not. But yes, I am I'm going to work with Kevin, and I'm going to edit and proofread number 2 for him. So it is, this is a book, and I saw somebody bought one the other day. So, you know, and it's that hard copy that you can take with you. So, excuse me, there's something going on here. When I first started out back in the 90s with Cisco, I had, in fact, I still have it. I have the Ultimate Cisco Configuration Guide. It was actually a Cisco Press book. It was about this thick, and I shoved that sucker in my bag, and it went with me everywhere. In fact, I probably actually memorized that book. And so if you want a hard copy, this is the way to go. Ubiquiti also gives away the training materials. If you go to downloads.ubnt.com, they give away their training materials for the classes, and so you can actually download that, but this is a great supplement. So what's the name of the book? Like to buy it. If you go to Amazon, it is the Unauthorized Guide to Ubiquiti Routing and Switching, and you know, Kevin is what I would consider like myself. He is a Ubiquiti professional, and I don't know that any of us actually know everything, but there are a lot of great minds out there, and so when we collectively get together, good things happen. But yeah, Kevin's book is out there. It is on my channel. So I want to show you a few other things. I'm gonna show you a couple other things. So a friend of mine out east, Alex, been working with him on BMS. If you don't know what BMS is, be very careful when you Google that. But something else that we're going to get into, man, is some of this industrial Ethernet. So this is from a company called Planet. I used Planet Gear, the company that I used to work for back in the 90s. They were one of the first importers into the United States of Planet Gear. So I used their wireless back in the day and their switches. They were very solid, but this is an industrial Ethernet. So this guy can get really cold. He can get really hot. He's got DIN rail mounting on the side, DC redundant power right here, 8 ports, fully configurable. We're going to get into this. And my buddy Alex ended up sending me some DIN rail and a power supply for this that I'm also going to do a video on. So I want to thank Alex for that. Out of the kindness of his heart, he sent that. And if you don't know what DIN rail is commonly seen in industrial applications, and so this is what DIN rail looks like. And you screw it to the wall, and then it's got these lips, and that equipment will slide and lock on here, so it doesn't go anywhere. So, and I will tell you that, yeah, Planet, that little switch right there, I picked that up on Amazon. It was about $200. It's for the lab. So, yeah, Mitch. Mitch, you and I need to talk about your video thing too. You know, I know you love Ubiquiti, but we really need to have a talk about schools and things like that, and we'll have that conversation. He also sent me this power supply by Functional Devices, and man, this thing is big. I'm not going to open it at the moment, but it is a PSC 100 AB10. So thank you to him for that. Something else we've got going on here, since we are going to eventually get to the WISP videos, and I'm working on building out a WISP. I have a Netonix switch, one of the more popular switch brands for WISPs. And so we're going to get to this as well. This is a great piece of hardware. Unfortunately, there was a WISP going out of business. I got a really good deal on this. I need to find out if they have any more. I also got some not low end, but low cost TP-Link routers. So, and those were working out pretty well. So somebody did ask what the what my Amazon shop was, what my PayPal was. If you go to the channel, you can see the PayPal link. If you want to do my I'll put the I'm going to put the Amazon shop link right there. Excuse me. Here's a link to our website. Yeah, so yeah, the Planet stuff, it's good stuff. Are you almost ready to have you finish the Clarksville bumper to bumper? Hey, Greg, how are you doing? Yeah, so Greg is one of my customers, if you can't tell from the comment, and he bought a UCM 6208. So we're going to finish that, get him up and going. Hope everything's going well, man. I'm looking forward to the project. I really need to start doing some traveling and going and seeing some of these sites one of these days. I've got people that want me to go all over. When will the USG support multiple WAN IP addresses in the GUI? I hate JSON. I am not a fan of the JSON file either. I don't know. I feel like we're at this tipping point with Ubiquiti, right? So they rushed the, you know, well, they didn't rush, but, you know, they brought this gear out. Everybody loves this gear and everything, and we're calling it enterprise, but it lacks enterprise features such as multiple WAN IP addresses without using the JSON file. So we totally negate the web UI, which is why everybody buys Unifi, to do a JSON file. And then if you don't do the JSON file correctly, you end up in a provisioning loop. And then if you do the JSON file correctly, when they implement it in the UI, then that configuration causes problems and it becomes, an issue. And, if you need multiple WAN IP addresses, just stick with the edge router for now and the edge switch, So, I don't know when they're going to do it. There's no official roadmap. A friend of mine that works for Ubiquiti has told me there will not be an official roadmap. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So, yeah, Lauren. So the traditional copper companies, they're big companies. I like capitalism. At some point, though, you have to wonder how much money is enough until they actually start reinvesting in this infrastructure, and they're not going to. Copper traditional phone lines are dying. Don't look for them to upgrade DSL anywhere. They're going to try to put fiber in, which is great. But WISPs kind of go back to the shop local philosophy. Now, there are some national WISPs. I've never worked with them. One of my favorite WISPs is Whisper ISP, based out of Southern Illinois and Missouri. Whisper ISP. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and they are a wonderful group of folks. The CEO actually sits on the WISPA board. So, but it's Whisper ISP, as in Whisper ISP. So check them out. If you're in Southern Illinois, Missouri, around the St. Louis area, all the way down, I believe, through Branson and headed towards Arkansas. So check them out. Chris Grove, roadmaps are great, but then your competition knows what you're doing before it's released. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, roadmaps aren't stopping competitors. I've seen alpha product, stuff that's not even on the beta store. I've seen it out on eBay for auction. So I can 100%, 1,000,000% guarantee it did not come from me. It's when you're in the alpha program, it's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Here's the thing. If a company wants to infiltrate you, they're going to figure out how to do it, or they're going to find out, oh, hey, this guy's in the beta program. Let's get him to feed us information. And unfortunately, for some people, money talks. And, roadmaps to me just help you build a stronger relationship with your customer. So somebody says, I like the way that Ubiquiti is building Unifi, slowly but steadily expanding its capabilities. Yeah, but what capabilities, right? Unifi, I've had USGs deployed for 3 years now, and I still can't do multiple WAN IP addresses. So I would say the slow part is definitely correct. Yeah, industrial networking and security are all the rage now. Yeah, that's a different conversation for a different day. Let's see. Have you done or are you planning any videos on UCRM at all? Yes, UCRM will come in the WISP series. I'm also going to do videos on power code. So the reason I like power code is because it supports ISPs of all types and sizes, where Ubiquiti's kind of dialed into a very few specific things. Let's see. The USG confused the heck out of the installer. Yeah, sometimes the Unifi stuff does confuse people. Let's see. 3 years is nothing in the long term. In IT, 3 years is a long time. So I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you on that. 6 months in tech is a long time. And there are a lot of hungry competitors out there. So we'll have to see. Yes, I have looked at UTMs. I used to run Untangle exclusively. And if you haven't heard my story about Warren Buffett's company, they don't support Ubiquiti. It doesn't fit the security profile there. So it's just like anything else. You have to choose the equipment that fits the need, right? So what would I add to the Unifi system? Well, the very first thing that I would add would be multiple WAN IP addresses. That's the very first thing that I would add. I would also enable two-factor authentication for when you host your own Unifi. UNMS has it. There's no reason that the Unifi people can't go. Nobody knows what their priorities are. Nobody, you know. So I don't know. I mean, the gear's solid gear. I'm just saying that there's a few things that need to be addressed. Yes, better reporting for sure. So, well, we are at the 1 hour mark, and I want to thank everyone who was here this morning. Unky Joe, I'll be in touch. I've got to go mow grass, and I'm going to go pick up a 6-pack. I'm going to have a good time with the family this weekend. I've got work stuff to do. I've got clients I've got to catch up with. So, Unky Joe, if I can make it to the live stream, I will. I'm not sure if I will be able to make it, but I want to thank everybody for being here. Please give me a thumbs up. Once again, if you need consulting, H5 LLC, I'll put this down here, h5llc.com. I am going to start doing security videos. There is a lot to security, and I'm going to focus in on things that I do for PCI compliance, because that will cover a large part of security. If you're interested in all of the products that we use, I'll put a link down here to the Amazon shop. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. This really would not be possible without you. So please keep coming back. The next video that's coming out is going to be the UCS. We're going to talk about extensions, all about extensions, explain all the options, learn the terminology, and then hook a phone in. And then we will go to a Synology video after that. So once again, I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next video.